What's up guys, Sportshot here, and today I'm going to be making a Krunker weapons tier list, which if you don't know what that is, I am essentially just going to be rating all of the Krunker weapons, and I'm going to be saying why I think each weapon goes where in the rating, and yeah, let's just get right into it. But before we get into it, you guys should subscribe and hit that bell notification button because I'm going to be streaming more Minecraft and Krunker than I normally do. Probably around 2 to 3 times a week, so if you guys want to stop in on some of those streams, all you have to do is subscribe and hit that notification bell. Almost had a stroke there trying to say that, but if you do that, then you'll be notified of when the streams start, so you'll be able to join in on them. Anyway, let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm on this website called tierlist.com, and all I had to do was upload some images of the Krunker guns. Some of them are a little bit blurry, but that's fine, we can still tell what guns they are. So we are going to start off here with the Alien Blaster, and as a secondary, I'm going to have to put it into S tier. My reason behind this is it is definitely the best secondary in terms of damage that you can have, and it also beats out some other primary weapons like the Uzis, the semi-auto, maybe the semi-auto. Actually no, not the semi-auto, but like Uzis, rocket launcher, crossbow, stuff like that. Maybe even the revolver definitely beats them out, because you can just kind of shoot 4 rapid shots of damage, or of bullets that do, I think, anywhere from 60 to 80-ish damage. And now we're going to get on to the AK, and I'm going to have to put this in S tier too. It is one of my main classes, and this is because you don't really have to have good aim to play it. Actually no, I'm going to put it down into A tier. I'll explain why after, but because it's in A tier, essentially you don't have to have really good aim to play it. You just kind of have to start shooting as soon as you see somebody, aim and try to move your mouse towards their head, and with that tactic I will usually get a kill extremely easily and not really have to deal with fighting people for too long with that. I put that into A tier because we're going to be going over the SMG next. I'm going to put this in S tier. I like how it has more ammunition in reserve than the, or more ammunition in the magazine than the AK, and it also shoots a lot faster. So using that spray and pray tactic that I usually use because my aim isn't the best, it essentially just makes my strategy with the AK a whole lot easier. And plus, it does a decent amount of damage, and the reload is also pretty fast. And now we are going to get into the auto pistol. I'm going to put this into C tier. The problem that I have with it is it doesn't have enough ammo and it doesn't do enough damage. If it either shot faster or had more ammo in reserve, I would like it, because it's difficult for me because of the way that I play. Like the way that I just kind of spray and pray in the game. It's really difficult for me to get 1 kill per magazine at least, so I usually have to end up reloading if I'm going to be fighting people only using this weapon, but I don't know what just happened there. But I think it is a really good backup to like the sniper or something, especially if you're fighting other snipers, because then you can shoot somebody with the sniper. If it doesn't kill them outright, you can just kind of spray and pray them down with the rest of your magazine and the auto pistol, and that will do the job. Alright, next we're going to be going over the crossbow here, and I'm going to go ahead and put this into B tier because it is not necessarily a horrible weapon, but as you go into higher skilled matches where people are just kind of flying around the map, you're going to have an incredibly hard time trying to actually guide the arrow into somebody and actually get a kill with it. Although it does do 200 damage, which is enough to basically one-shot anybody with either a chest shot. I think you can even kill the spray and pray with an arm shot too. So because of that, if you just keep spraying arrows at somebody and they have pretty bad accuracy, or if you use a hit and run tactic where you run in really fast, shoot them and leave, it's pretty easy to get some kills with the crossbow, although it definitely isn't one of the better weapons. And now we're going to be going over the Desert Eagle. Now I think that this is probably gonna have to be a B tier because it is just with the way that I play, again with the spray and pray, I don't really hit shots that well. Actually, I'm going to put it into A tier because it is usable as a secondary. And you can one-shot snipers with it if you hit them in the head. So I think it is a decently usable firearm or gun in the game, and yeah, I think it should be in between A and B tier. I can't really decide. It just kind of depends how I'm doing in the game. Alright, so I just went ahead and made another tier right here for it, the Deagle tier, because it really depends how I'm doing that day, because my aim is really inconsistent day to day and game to game. So depending on how that is, it can either be an A or a B, so I'm just going to put it in its own Deagle tier in between A and B. Now we're going to be getting into the FAMAS, which I think is an S tier. This is because if I am doing decently well at hitting headshots, like first try, you can wipe anybody out with the FAMAS in basically a second of seeing them by just nailing them in the head with it. And because it's a burst weapon, you can basically just do all the damage that you need in that one burst. Now if you are fighting multiple people, it starts to get tricky, but as long as you can keep clicking on a person, it's really not that bad. So yeah, I think it should be above the AK because I believe it does more damage per shot than the AK, so it should definitely be up here. Alright, so now I'm going to be going over the sniper. I think this should be a B tier weapon, not because it's bad as a weapon itself, because I put it in B tier because I am bad with this weapon. I basically have a 50% chance of actually hitting somebody in the torso or head when I am aiming at them and shooting with this, so I'm not very good with this. Plus the hunter class that the sniper's attached to only has 60 health, so it can get wiped out really quick. So if you miss your first shot and you're going against somebody who's pretty competent at the game, you are not going to have a good time. And on to the, I'm going to go with the revolver now. I'm going to put this into C tier. Same reason with the sniper, I just can't really hit my shots that well with it. But it isn't a one-shot headshot or a one-shot, or it is a one-shot headshot to I think the semi-auto and the sniper, and I think Vince now too. But I don't think yeah, it can't chest shot one-shot anybody. Actually no, I think it can do that to the sniper. I'm getting mixed up here, but essentially what I'm saying is it is pretty hard and somewhat rare to get a one-shot kill with the revolver, and I feel that this gun here is better when I'm lucky in the game, more than, like, I can't really play consistently with it is what I'm trying to say. And now we're going to be getting onto the double barrel shotgun. This is definitely going into D tier. Now this is strictly utility in my opinion, because you have to be really lucky to one-shot somebody with this, and you have to be right next to them in order to do so, and they have to be a specific class. Now I'm not sure how much damage it does for a full burst at point blank range to the head, but I know it is less than 100, so more times than not you aren't going to be getting a one-shot kill with this shotgun, and it doesn't even have 2 shots with it. If it did have 2 shots, I would probably put it in A tier, but because it's just so bad, and it's only really used for trick shotting, not for actual gameplay, unless you're trying to get away from somebody, you can't really use this to like fight people. So I'm definitely gonna have to put this into D tier. And now we're going over the rocket launcher. This is pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to be putting this into C tier. It's essentially just a crossbow with a slower reload. The explosive effect is extremely useful on the diffuse game mode though, but other than that it's not really used for anything other than maybe rushing caps or maybe defending caps. But then again, when you have people who are flying around the map and who are good at the game, you aren't going to be able to hit shots with this, and if anything it's just going to, you know, knock a little bit of damage off of each person. Now the shotgun on the other hand, I'm gonna have to put into A tier. Now, actually, I think I'm gonna put this in the S tier. It's just probably the best weapon in the game, definitely the best weapon in the game for close quarters. If you have this and the alien blaster, you are set. You have the alien blaster for doing long range damage and the shotgun for wiping out people in 1 or 2 shots up really close. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory why the shotgun would go up here if you've ever played against it. It's just probably the most overpowered weapon in the game, just on its own. And now the LMG, I'm just gonna have to put this into A tier. It's just really good at holding down corners, especially in the diffuse game mode or when you're playing on King of the Hill. You can really hold corners with this, and all you have to do is basically spray and pray with it, and you're good to go. And because the class that uses it has, I think, 170 health, if you are good at using movement to your advantage, because of this class's really low jump height, you can move around relatively fast and get a lot of B-hops in. So I think that this class is extremely overpowered against people who are either bad at the game or around average at the game. You can just wipe them out so easily. Now, getting onto the semi-auto, I'm gonna have to put this into A tier, because if you can click fast and you can aim relatively close to somebody, you can easily wipe somebody out with the semi-auto. It just takes 2 or 3 clicks at most to get rid of somebody no matter where you hit them. So this is definitely one of the best classes. And yeah, now we're gonna be getting into I'm gonna do the Akimbo Uzis now. I'm gonna have to put this into B tier. Actually, no, I'm gonna put this into A tier, because if you can get the recoil pattern down at least a decent amount, you can actually. I don't think there is really much of a recoil pattern other than moving your cursor down a little bit, but as long as you can aim where you need to aim, and I think that's a little bit above and to the right of somebody's head, you can easily wipe somebody out at close to medium range with these, although they do become basically useless at a long range, so that's why I can't put that into the S tier. And you can't have a secondary with them either, so it's kind of useless. And lastly, the knife, I'm gonna have to put this into A tier, definitely, because it is a 2-hit kill to an average class. And yeah, I think every class other than the rocket launcher and the machine gunner is probably this is probably one of the best weapons to use against them if you can have good speed and if they have like average or below skill level, because you can use the machine gun class to kind of just use the knife, and you can tank hits with the 170 health that you get, and you can just kind of take them out in 2 swipes and you're good. So this is the end tier list that I have right here, and tell me what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? Why? And what would you change with it? So yeah, it's going to be about it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button to join my future streams.